Unlock the secret of sleep with Buddhist teachings. Where does your mind go when you sleep? Welcome to Buddhist Stories, the channel where we dive deep into the ancient wisdom of Buddhist teachings and explore how they can help us navigate the complexities of modern life. Whether you're a lifelong practitioner or just starting to explore Buddhist philosophy, you're in the right place. Have you ever wondered, where does your mind go when you sleep? Is sleep just a break from the world, or does your mind travel to another realm entirely? When you close your eyes at night, do you truly fall into a state of nothingness? Or is there something happening beneath the surface? Something far more profound than just checking out of your busy life for a few hours. The truth may surprise you. According to Buddhist philosophy, sleep is not simply a time to rest. It's not the end of consciousness, but rather a unique space where the mind undergoes profound transformation. It's a moment where mindfulness can continue to work, even when we are not aware of it. Now, let me ask you a question. How often do you think about your sleep as a time for mental restoration and spiritual growth? Maybe you see it as a chance to physically recover after a long day. But what if sleep is also an opportunity to dive deeper into your own consciousness? What if, during sleep, your mind isn't absent but instead continues its journey toward greater awareness? In today's video, we're going to unravel a fascinating Buddhist perspective on sleep, exploring how the mind doesn't disappear when we sleep, but instead continues to process, heal, and grow. We'll delve into how Buddhist teachings illuminate the mysteries of sleep, dreams, and the moments when we wake up. But first, I'd love to know which one do you think best represents the Buddhist view of sleep? Is it 1. A time for the mind to completely rest and disconnect, or 2. A moment for the mind to undergo a deeper transformation and continue its journey? Leave your answer in the comments below, and let's see how many of you are already starting to connect with this deeper understanding of sleep. Stay tuned as we explore these insights and more in the video. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to Buddhist Stories for more engaging and thought-provoking content on Buddhist teachings. Let's dive in. The beginning of sleep. A Buddhist perspective. Sleep, this simple, yet profound act we engage in every day, has a depth of meaning in Buddhist teachings that often goes unnoticed. We might think of sleep merely as a way to rest our bodies after a long day. But in Buddhist philosophy, sleep is so much more. It is a chance to pause, to reset, and to bring ourselves back into balance. But how do we navigate this sacred pause? And how can we approach sleep with the awareness and mindfulness that the Buddha teaches? Let's explore this deeply, using a combination of Buddhist philosophy and practical steps that can transform our relationship with sleep. As we lie down at night, sleep begins with a feeling of stillness. This moment is more than the cessation of activity. It is the retreat into quietude, the withdrawal of the senses, and the slowing of the mind. The chaotic world, with its endless noise and distractions, fades away as we move into a state of rest. Our muscles, which have been tense throughout the day, begin to loosen. Our body, which has been carrying the weight of our actions, begins to lighten. The world outside grows dim, and our thoughts, once racing, begin to slow down, gradually retreating into the stillness of the mind. At first, this transition can feel subtle. It is not an abrupt shift, but a gentle, gradual process. The moment of rest is like a soft wave gently flowing over us, inviting us to release the tensions of the day and settle into the quiet space that sleep offers. But how does this moment of stillness align with the Buddha's teachings? In Buddhism, we are often reminded of the importance of balance. The Buddha's core teaching of the middle way encourages us to find harmony in all aspects of our lives, avoiding extremes. This is particularly relevant when it comes to our need for rest. Sleep is not something we should overindulge in, nor should we deprive ourselves of it. When we sleep too much, we wake up sluggish, feeling as though our minds are clouded and slow. On the other hand, if we sleep too little, we may feel irritable, scattered, and mentally unproductive. This delicate balance of sleep, like all things in life, can be viewed through the lens of the Buddha's wisdom. In the Sigaloveda Sutta, the Buddha advises moderation in every aspect of life. When we overindulge in one thing, we neglect others. The key to a healthy, balanced life is not avoiding sleep, but finding the right amount that rejuvenates the body and sharpens the mind. The Buddha himself, after a full day of teaching and guiding his disciples, would rest under a tree. This simple act of rest, though seemingly mundane, was not an escape from the world. It was a return to clarity, a time to refresh the body, to prepare for the next moment of teaching, and to regain the energy required to continue on the path. Let's pause here for a moment. The Buddha, the Enlightened One, understood the necessity of rest. Even those who have reached the peak of wisdom need to recharge. Just as a gardener takes time to water and nurture the plants that grow, we too must allow ourselves the time to rest. Imagine the gardener. If they neglect the plants, they wither and die. Likewise, if we neglect our need for rest, our minds and bodies can become frail, unfocused, and worn out. By recognizing the importance of sleep, we can understand that rest is not merely the absence of activity, but the replenishing of our inner energy, the nurturing of our bodies and minds so that we may continue on the path with clarity and purpose. But how can we integrate this wisdom into our daily lives? The next time you lie down to sleep, pause for a moment and reflect. Acknowledge the efforts you've made throughout the day, how your body has moved, how your mind has worked, and how your heart has engaged with the world. As you close your eyes, imagine the act of sleep not as an ending, but as a renewal. Picture your mind slowly releasing the events of the day, just as you would put down a heavy bag after a long journey. Allow your thoughts to settle, just as the Buddha would rest his body after a day of teachings. Real-life story and reflection. Consider the story of Venerable Mahakāsyapa, one of the Buddha's closest disciples, who, after years of practice, came to a profound realization about balance. Mahakāsyapa was known for his intense meditation practice and ascetic lifestyle, striving to embody the Buddha's teachings in every moment. However, one day, after a particularly long meditation retreat, he found himself physically weak and mentally exhausted. Though he had followed the path with great dedication, he neglected the need for physical rest. He came to the Buddha, seeking guidance on how to reconcile his intense practice with the need for self-care. The Buddha, ever wise and compassionate, looked at Mahakeshapa and smiled. "Rest is not weakness," he said. "The strength of the body and mind is in balance. If you tire yourself too much in your pursuit of enlightenment, you will not have the strength to continue. Rest, like practice, is essential." From that day forward, Mahakeshapa made it a point to balance his meditation with rest. He allowed himself to sleep deeply, recognizing that this practice was not a retreat from the path, but a necessary part of it. This story serves as a reminder that even the most dedicated practitioners must honor their need for rest. In our busy lives, we often forget that sleep is a vital part of our spiritual growth. Without proper rest, our ability to be present, mindful, and engaged with the world diminishes. So, the next time you prepare to sleep, think of Mahakeshapa and his balanced approach. Acknowledge that rest is not just for the body, but for the mind and spirit as well. Practical guidance for sleep. Incorporating the Buddha's teachings on balance into our daily lives can help us cultivate not only restful sleep, but also a more harmonious existence. One way to do this is by practicing mindfulness before sleep. As you prepare for bed, take a moment to engage in a short meditation. Breathe deeply, release any tension in your body, and allow your thoughts to drift like leaves on a river. Recognize that sleep is not an escape from the world, but an opportunity to rejuvenate, to reset, and to prepare for the coming day. Additionally, consider the importance of your environment. Just as the Buddha rested in a peaceful and natural setting, we too can create an environment that promotes restful sleep. Ensure that your sleeping space is clean, serene, and free from distractions. The atmosphere of your room plays a role in how well you rest. Just as the Buddha found peace under the tree, we can cultivate peace in our surroundings, allowing us to rest deeply and wake with clarity. In the next section of our journey, we'll explore how the mind transitions into sleep, and what Buddhist teachings have to say about the deeper states of consciousness that arise during the night. As we move forward, remember that sleep is not an escape, but an integral part of the process of awareness. Through sleep, we can unlock deeper wisdom, bringing us closer to the clarity and peace that the Buddha so often spoke of. To what happens to the mind during sleep? A Buddhist perspective. In the quiet of the night, when the world around us stills, we are often left wondering, what happens to our minds during sleep? Do we truly disconnect from everything, or is there something deeper at play? The Buddha's teachings offer profound insights into the workings of the mind, particularly during sleep. It's not simply a time of rest for our bodies, but a critical moment where the mind continues to work, albeit in a quieter and more subtle way. According to Buddhist philosophy, the mind is never truly absent. Even when we sleep, our mental processes continue, albeit in a less overt and more subdued form. The Buddha spoke of the 5 aggregates, or khandhas, which serve as a framework for understanding the mind's workings. These 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness are always at play, even when we are unaware of them. They continue to function during sleep, helping regulate our life processes without our conscious attention. The 5 aggregates and their role during sleep. The 5 aggregates are essential concepts in Buddhist psychology, offering a deeper understanding of how the mind operates. Let's break them down and explore how each functions during sleep. 1. Form. A part. This refers to the physical body and the material world around us. When we sleep, our body rests, but the sensory connections that link us to the external world still exist. However, these sensations are subdued. The physical experience of sleep may involve sensations such as the comfort of the bed, the sensation of warmth or coolness, but these are not our primary focus during rest. 2. Feeling. Vedana feelings arise as a result of contact between our senses and the external world. During sleep, we may still experience feelings such as warmth, cold, or even dreams that evoke pleasant or unpleasant emotions. However, these feelings are less pronounced compared to when we are awake. While our body and senses may still respond to certain stimuli, the intensity of these feelings is often dulled. 3. Perception. Perception is the process through which we recognize and interpret sensory information. While we sleep, perception does not stop entirely. Our brain processes information in the background, such as sounds or changes in temperature. But these perceptions are not consciously processed in the way they are when we are awake. It's as if the mind takes a step back, observing from a distance rather than engaging actively. 4. Mental formations. Sakra. This aggregate refers to our thoughts, intentions, habits, and mental patterns. Mental formations are crucial during sleep, particularly in the form of dreams. Dreams are a manifestation of mental formations, arising from our subconscious mind. While we sleep, our minds continue to process experiences, emotions, and desires, sometimes in the form of vivid dreams. These mental formations are not always within our conscious control, but they reflect our inner world. 5. Consciousness. Via consciousness is the awareness of mental and sensory phenomena. While we may experience a reduction in conscious awareness during deep sleep, consciousness never fully disappears. There is a subtle stream of consciousness that continues to operate in the background, allowing us to awaken refreshed, alert, and aware. The mind in sleep. A continuation, not a cessation. From a Buddhist perspective, sleep is not an absence of mind. Rather, it is a shift in its activity. While our conscious mind may seem to take a break during sleep, the deeper layers of the mind continue to function. The citta, or heart mind, is always present, even when we are not aware of it. This understanding of sleep aligns with the Buddha's teachings on the nature of mind and consciousness. It teaches us that our minds are always active, But sometimes we are not aware of the subtle workings beneath the surface. In the Dhammapada, one of the most important texts in Buddhism, the Buddha explains that mind is the forerunner of all things. Our thoughts, emotions, and experiences, whether conscious or unconscious, shape our reality. This includes the reality of our dreams, which often offer a glimpse into the deeper workings of the mind, a story of meditation and the balance of the mind. To illustrate this understanding of the mind during sleep, let us turn to a story from the Jataka Tales, which offers profound lessons on meditation and the nature of the mind. The story is about Venerable Sena, a monk who struggled with meditation. Sena had been meditating intensely for many years, and yet he was frustrated. He felt he was not making the progress he sought, and his mind felt chaotic and restless. Despite his efforts, he was unable to attain the clarity and peace that he so deeply desired. Exhausted and disheartened, he sought the Buddha's guidance. When Sena approached the Buddha, he was full of despair. "I have tried with all my might to control my mind, but it resists," he confessed. "It is like an unruly child, never still, always moving in different directions." Instead of offering Sena a new technique to control his mind, the Buddha gave him a simple analogy. "Sena, do you remember the times when you played the lute in your past life?" the Buddha asked. "When the strings of the lute were too tight, was it in tune?" "No," Sena replied, "the strings were too tight and the sound was sharp, harsh, and out of tune." "And when the strings were too loose," the Buddha continued, "was it in tune then?" Again, "No," Sena answered. "The sound was weak and dull." The Buddha smiled gently. "Sena, the mind is like the lute. It needs to be balanced. It should not be too tight with effort, nor too loose with distraction. Only when it is in balance will it produce the harmony you seek." This analogy is deeply relevant to understanding the mind during sleep. Just as the lute must be tuned to produce a pleasant sound, our minds must be balanced for rest. If our minds are too active, too tight, we cannot rest. If they are too loose, too distracted, we also cannot rest. The key is to find a middle ground, a state of mind that is neither forced nor scattered, but present and aware. This is the essence of mindful sleep. When we approach sleep with balance in mind, we allow our minds to rest in the way that they need. It's not about forcing the mind into stillness, but about releasing the mental effort and allowing it to settle naturally. This process of letting go is essential for rejuvenating the mind, allowing it to process the events of the day, and preparing for the next day with clarity and peace. Practical insights. How to cultivate balance during sleep. If the mind is always active even in sleep, then how can we cultivate a restful and restorative experience? The key lies in mindfulness and balance. The Buddha's teachings on the middle way apply here as well. Instead of seeking to control the mind too rigidly or letting it drift uncontrollably, we can aim for balance in our sleep practices. 1. Letting go before sleep. One way to prepare the mind for rest is to practice mindfulness before sleep. This might involve sitting quietly for a few minutes, focusing on the breath, and allowing the mind to release the thoughts and stresses of the day, just as the Buddha would meditate before sleep. We can engage in a brief meditation to calm the mind and prepare it for rest. 2. Creating a restful environment, just as Sana needed a balanced approach to his meditation. We also need to create a balanced environment for sleep. Ensure that your sleep space is quiet, comfortable, and free of distractions. A peaceful environment allows the mind to relax and find its natural balance. 3. Awareness of dreams. During sleep, the mind continues its work through dreams, rather than seeing dreams as random. We can view them as reflections of the mind's activity. When we wake, we can gently reflect on our dreams with curiosity, using them as a window into the subconscious. By acknowledging the mind's ongoing work, we allow ourselves to gain deeper insight into our thoughts, emotions, and desires. For mindful awakening, when we wake in the morning, it is important to maintain mindfulness. Instead of jumping immediately into the day's tasks, take a few moments to center yourself. Acknowledge the restful sleep you just experienced, and set an intention for the day. This mindful awakening helps to carry the peace of sleep into our waking hours, maintaining the balance that we have cultivated during the night. The deep wisdom of the mind, balance and harmony. The teachings of the Buddha offer profound wisdom for understanding the mind during sleep. Sleep is not an escape or a period of inactivity, but a time when the mind continues its work in a quieter, more subtle way. By applying the Buddha's teachings on balance and mindfulness, we can create a peaceful space for our minds to rest, rejuvenate, and prepare for the next day with clarity and awareness. Just as Sana learned to balance the strings of his lute, we must learn to balance our minds, neither forcing them nor allowing them to become too loose. Through mindfulness and balance, we can unlock the full potential of our sleep, allowing it to become a powerful tool for healing, reflection, and spiritual growth. If you feel the wisdom of these teachings resonates with you, take a moment tonight to reflect before you sleep. Release the stress of the day, find your balance, and allow your mind to rest. Through this simple practice, you can begin to experience the profound peace and clarity that the Buddha spoke of, not only during your sleep but throughout your waking life as well. 3. Dreams. What do they mean? A Buddhist perspective. Dreams are a phenomenon that has intrigued and mystified humanity for centuries. Many view them as random, strange narratives, often fleeting and disconnected from reality, while others believe they are far more than that. Throughout history, various cultures and belief systems have proposed different interpretations of dreams, from them being omens of the future to symbols of the subconscious. In Buddhism, however, dreams are not seen as mere illusions, nor are they disregarded as meaningless. Rather, they are viewed as reflections of the mind's activity, and a window into the mental and emotional states that shape our waking reality. According to Buddhist teachings, dreams arise from the same mental processes that govern our waking lives. They are the mind's way of processing emotions, unresolved thoughts, and subconscious impressions, often from past experiences. They are not necessarily prophetic or mystical, but they hold significant meaning that can offer us valuable insights into our emotional and psychological states. As the Buddha himself taught, the mind is the forerunner of all things. It shapes our reality, both when we are awake and when we sleep. The Buddhist view of dreams. From a Buddhist perspective, dreams are not to be feared or dismissed. Instead, they should be seen as an opportunity for self-reflection and understanding. They are an extension of our waking consciousness, arising from the same thoughts, desires, and emotions that we experience during our waking hours. Dreams are not disconnected from reality. They are simply a continuation of the mental processes that govern our daily lives, but in a different state of awareness. The Buddha taught that the mind is constantly in motion, shaping our perceptions and reactions. During the day, our minds are filled with thoughts, feelings, and sensory experiences. These mental impressions accumulate throughout the day, and when we sleep, our minds continue to work through them. This is why we often experience dreams that reflect unresolved issues, unprocessed emotions, or even recurring thoughts that have been lingering in our consciousness. In this sense, dreams are a natural part of the mind's attempt to make sense of the world and find balance. While dreams may seem illogical or nonsensical at times, they are nonetheless a reflection of our internal emotional landscape. They give us insight into our deeper fears, hopes, and unresolved issues. In Buddhist philosophy, we are encouraged to look within, to cultivate mindfulness and awareness, not only during waking life but also during sleep. By approaching our dreams with curiosity and open-mindedness, we can use them as tools for personal growth and self-discovery. A story from the Jataka Tales. King Pasionadi and his dreams. One of the most enlightening stories on dreams in Buddhist literature comes from the Jataka Tales, a collection of stories about the Buddha's previous lives. The tale of King Pasionadi, a wise and just ruler, provides us with a profound lesson on how to approach dreams and their potential meanings. King Pasionadi had a series of disturbing dreams that left him deeply troubled. In his dreams, he saw signs of impending disaster, floods, fires, and chaos that threatened his kingdom. As the dreams continued, the king became increasingly worried, fearing that these dreams were prophetic warnings about the future of his reign. Concerned about the fate of his people and the stability of his kingdom, King Pasionadi sought guidance from the Buddha. When the king approached the Buddha, he was full of anxiety and fear. "O Buddha, I have had these terrible dreams. I fear that they portend disaster for my kingdom. What should I do?" he asked. Instead of offering a straightforward interpretation of the dreams, the Buddha responded with a calm and compassionate voice, saying, "Your dreams, O king, are not omens of disaster. They are reflections of your own inner anxieties and fears. The mind is a powerful force. and when it is filled with worry and uncertainty, it projects these fears into your dreams. The Buddha explained that the dreams were not external forces or premonitions, but rather manifestations of the king's own emotional turmoil. The king's mind had been preoccupied with concerns about his kingdom, his leadership, and his ability to protect his people. These unresolved worries were now manifesting in his dreams, giving him vivid images of destruction and chaos. The Buddha's message was clear. Dreams are not always literal. They are reflections of our internal world, shaped by our thoughts, emotions, and unresolved concerns. By addressing the source of our anxieties, we can bring peace to our minds, and by extension, to our dreams. The Buddha encouraged King Pasenadi to examine his own heart and mind, to address his fears, and to find peace within himself. In doing so, he would no longer be troubled by dreams of disaster. The lesson from King Pasenadi's dreams. This story offers a powerful lesson for all of us. It teaches us that dreams, though often mysterious and confusing, are not something to be feared or ignored. Instead, they serve as a mirror, reflecting our innermost thoughts, emotions, and unresolved issues. Dreams can reveal to us the areas of our lives where we are holding on to fear, anxiety, or stress. They provide us with an opportunity to look within and gain greater awareness of our emotional and psychological state. The key takeaway from this story is that our dreams are not separate from us. They arise from the same mental processes that shape our waking lives. By examining our dreams, we can gain valuable insight into our mental and emotional states. And by addressing these underlying issues, we can begin to find peace and clarity. The Buddha's teachings on mindfulness can be applied to our approach to dreams. Instead of reacting to dreams with fear or frustration, we are encouraged to approach them with curiosity and compassion. We can use dreams as an opportunity to reflect on our emotions, to observe the patterns in our minds, and to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. The mind as a mirror. The role of dreams in self-reflection. In Buddhism, the mind is often described as a mirror. It reflects everything that enters it, the images, thoughts, and emotions that shape our perceptions of the world. Just as a mirror reflects what is placed before it, the mind reflects our internal state, revealing our fears, desires, and mental habits. Dreams are one way in which this mirror is revealed to us. They provide a glimpse into the deeper workings of the mind, showing us what lies beneath the surface of our conscious awareness. When we dream, we are often confronted with the raw, unfiltered content of our subconscious mind. This content can sometimes be disorienting, but it offers us valuable clues about the emotional and psychological state we are in. Just as we clean a mirror to see a clearer reflection, we must also clean our minds through practices like mindfulness and meditation. By cultivating awareness and insight, we can begin to clear the mental clutter that clouds our perception. As we do so, our dreams may become clearer as well, reflecting a more peaceful and balanced mind. Practical insights for understanding dreams. 1. Approach dreams with curiosity, instead of fearing or dismissing your dreams. Approach them with curiosity. Ask yourself what emotions or themes arise in your dreams. What do these dreams reveal about your current state of mind? By reflecting on the content of your dreams, you can gain valuable insights into your inner world. 2. Use dreams as a tool for self-reflection. Dreams are not random. They are shaped by our thoughts, emotions, and unresolved issues. Use your dreams as a mirror to reflect on your fears, desires, and mental patterns. This self-reflection can help you identify areas of your life that need attention and healing. 3. Mindfulness and awareness. As with all aspects of Buddhist practice, mindfulness plays a key role in understanding dreams. By cultivating mindfulness during waking life, we can develop a greater awareness of our thoughts and emotions. This awareness carries over into our dreams, allowing us to gain more clarity and insight into the content of our dreams. 4. Release attachment to dreams. While dreams can provide valuable insights, it's important not to become attached to them. In Buddhism, attachment is seen as a source of suffering. If we cling too tightly to our dreams or try to force meaning into them, we can create more confusion and anxiety. Instead, let your dreams be a tool for exploration, but do not hold on to them too tightly. 5. Practice loving kindness and compassion as you reflect on your dreams. Approach them with loving kindness and compassion. Understand that the mind is not always perfect, and that dreams, like thoughts, can be influenced by our emotions and mental habits. By practicing compassion toward yourself, you can release the judgment and fear that often accompany troubling dreams. Conclusion. Embracing the wisdom of dreams. Dreams, while mysterious and often elusive, offer us valuable insight into the workings of the mind. They reflect our inner world, providing us with a mirror to better understand our thoughts, emotions, and unresolved issues. Through mindfulness, self-reflection, and compassion, we can use our dreams as a tool for personal growth and spiritual development. Just as King Paseonade learned to recognize the source of his troubling dreams, we too can learn to recognize the source of our inner turmoil. By addressing our fears and anxieties, we can bring peace to our minds and live more fully in the present moment. Dreams, far from being mere illusions, are an integral part of the Buddhist path, offering us a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Chapter 4. Deep Sleep, the Silence of the Mind. In our busy, fast-paced lives, sleep is often viewed as the ultimate escape from the chaos of the day. The moment we lie down to rest, we are expected to disconnect from the world and our thoughts, entering a state where we are oblivious to our surroundings and ourselves. We shut our eyes, surrender to the quiet darkness, and expect to drift into complete unconsciousness. But, from a Buddhist perspective, the nature of deep sleep is far more profound than merely a time of rest or unconsciousness. It is not the absence of awareness, but rather a different kind of awareness. a state where the mind becomes quiet and still, yet consciousness persists beneath the surface. The Buddha, in his teachings, described this continuous stream of consciousness during deep sleep as bhavangasita, a fundamental layer of awareness that remains even when we are not consciously thinking. It is the background, the subtle yet unbroken current of being that flows throughout our lives. This form of consciousness is often referred to as the life continuum or ground of being, as it connects and sustains us through moments of wakefulness and sleep, through periods of deep activity and stillness. It is the silent witness to our experiences, providing a foundation for all mental phenomena. Understanding Bhavangasita, the continuity of consciousness. Bhavangasita is a concept that often baffles those unfamiliar with Buddhist philosophy. We tend to think of consciousness as something that is active, something we experience when we are awake, thinking, or actively engaging with the world around us. However, the Buddha's teachings invite us to expand our view. Deep sleep does not equate to a complete loss of consciousness. Instead, it represents a shift into a quieter, less demanding state of mind, one that continues to hold a subtle awareness even as our active thinking ceases. In deep sleep, the mind is not idle, it is simply not engaged in the usual processes of thought and perception. It is a time of restoration, of subtle inner work that is crucial to our well-being. Think of this form of consciousness as the operating system of a computer. When you put your computer to sleep, the screen goes dark, and the machine is not actively processing commands or performing tasks. But beneath the surface, the operating system continues running in the background, keeping the machine ready for use when you awaken it. Similarly, during deep sleep, our body and mind undergo a form of restoration and repair. Yet the underlying capacity for awareness remains intact, quietly preparing us for the next moment, the next experience, and the next day. The importance of deep sleep in Buddhist philosophy. In Buddhism, the concept of sleep, and more specifically, deep sleep, holds great significance. Sleep is not seen merely as a time for rest. It is an essential part of our spiritual practice. The Buddha encouraged his followers to approach sleep as a sacred moment of renewal and peace. Just as we care for our bodies during the day, ensuring they are nourished and rested, so too should we care for our minds and spirits during the night, allowing them to rest in a quiet and restorative way. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the Buddha describes the practice of mindfulness as being integral to all moments of our lives, including during sleep. He suggests that, while we are awake, we should observe our thoughts, feelings, and actions with mindfulness. Likewise, during sleep, the quietude of the mind can offer us an opportunity for deep, subconscious healing. It is in these moments of silence that we can connect with the deeper layers of consciousness, bringing us into alignment with our true nature. The restoration of mind and body during deep sleep. The restorative quality of deep sleep is not just physical. It is deeply spiritual and mental as well. When we sleep, our body undergoes repairs. Cells regenerate, muscles repair themselves, and the immune system strengthens. Similarly, the mind also undergoes a process of renewal. In deep sleep, the usual mental chatter fades away, and the mind enters a state of profound stillness. During this time, we can think of our minds as being like a muddy pool of water when the water is disturbed. The mud rises and clouds our vision. But when the water settles, the mud sinks, and the water becomes clear. In deep sleep, the mind, free from distractions, begins to settle, and this stillness allows for deep mental restoration. Just as a well-rested body is more capable of carrying out its daily activities with energy and focus, a well-rested mind is more capable of clarity, peace, and mindfulness. This deep sleep not only restores our mental faculties, but also offers a sense of inner peace, which can carry over into our waking life. Personal insight and example. The Buddha's teachings on consciousness and sleep remind us that we are not simply our thoughts, emotions, or even our physical bodies. We are the awareness that lies beneath these things, the silent observer of all that occurs within and around us. In deep sleep, when our active thinking ceases, we are offered a glimpse into this underlying awareness. It's as if, during sleep, we are given the opportunity to reconnect with our true nature, pure awareness, free from the distractions of thought, judgment, and emotional turbulence. Let me share with you an example of a monk who came to the Buddha with a question about deep sleep. This monk had been meditating intensely, striving for enlightenment. Yet he struggled to find inner peace during his moments of rest. His sleep was fitful, filled with restless dreams and anxiety. He asked the Buddha, "Why can't I rest peacefully? Why does my mind remain unsettled even when I am sleeping?" The Buddha responded, "Your restlessness comes not from your body, but from your mind. During sleep, the mind must be allowed to rest in balance. If you try to force yourself into peace, it will elude you. Let go of all striving. Allow your thoughts to pass like clouds in the sky. When you no longer try to control them, you will find the stillness that lies beneath." The monk took the Buddha's advice to heart and began practicing mindfulness before sleep. Instead of forcing his mind to quiet, he allowed himself to release the tension and anxiety that had built up during the day. Over time, his sleep became more peaceful, and he experienced the deep, restorative rest that the Buddha spoke of. This simple practice of letting go and surrendering to the natural quiet of the mind was transformative for the monk, bringing him closer to the peace he sought. The silence of the mind, a path to deep peace. The silence of the mind during deep sleep holds a profound lesson for us all. In the Buddhist tradition, we are often reminded that true peace does not come from external circumstances, but from within. It is not the absence of activity that brings peace, but the absence of attachment. Just as the Buddha taught that we must let go of attachment to thoughts, desires, and emotions, so too must we let go of attachment to the idea that the mind must always be active. In deep sleep, we experience a form of non-attachment, a letting go of the usual mental burdens we carry. This quietude is not to be feared or seen as a loss. It is an invitation to reconnect with the deeper dimensions of our being. By recognizing this, we can access a profound sense of peace, both during sleep and while awake. Practical application of deep sleep in daily life. As we explore the concept of deep sleep from a Buddhist perspective, it becomes clear that sleep is not just a physical necessity, it is a spiritual opportunity. Here are a few ways we can incorporate the wisdom of deep sleep into our daily lives. 1. Mindfulness before sleep. Just as we practice mindfulness during the day, we can apply it before sleep. Before lying down, take a few moments to observe your thoughts and feelings. Acknowledge any tension in your body and gently release it. Allow your thoughts to pass without judgment, just as clouds drift across the sky. This practice will help prepare the mind for the quietude of deep sleep. 2. Letting go of attachment. The Buddha's teachings on non-attachment can also be applied to sleep. We often hold on to our thoughts and concerns even as we try to fall asleep. But this attachment keeps us from experiencing true rest. Practice letting go of worries and distractions. Trust that the mind will do its work while you rest, and surrender to the natural process of sleep. 3. Restorative sleep for clarity. Just as the body needs physical rest to function optimally, the mind requires rest to remain clear and focused. Deep sleep provides the opportunity for the mind to restore itself, allowing us to wake up refreshed and with greater clarity. Embrace the idea that sleep is a necessary part of your spiritual practice, offering you the opportunity to rejuvenate both body and mind. 4. Awareness of dreams. Dreams are often a continuation of the mental processes that occur during waking hours. Pay attention to your dreams and use them as a tool for self-reflection. What emotions or themes arise in your dreams? Are there unresolved issues that the mind is processing? By acknowledging the role of dreams in our mental health, we can deepen our understanding of ourselves. Conclusion: embracing the silence of the mind. Deep sleep offers us an opportunity to reconnect with the fundamental awareness that lies beneath the surface of our thoughts and emotions. It is not the absence of consciousness, but a quieter, more subtle form of awareness that continues to guide us. By embracing the wisdom of deep sleep, we can learn to cultivate inner peace, both during rest and while awake. Just as the Buddha taught, the path to enlightenment is not about striving, but about letting go. By surrendering to the quiet of the mind, we can discover the profound peace that lies at the heart of our being. As you prepare for sleep tonight, remember that you are not just resting your body. You are reconnecting with the deeper layers of your consciousness. Allow your mind to rest, let go of attachment, and trust that the peace you seek is always within you. Chapter 5. Waking up, the new beginning. Waking up, what a simple act, yet so profound when viewed through the lens of Buddhist philosophy. We often think of waking up as a mere transition from sleep to wakefulness, a physical act that prepares us for the activities of the day. Yet, in the teachings of the Buddha, waking up holds a much deeper significance. It is not merely the act of opening our eyes and getting out of bed, but an opportunity, a new beginning. It is a chance to cultivate mindfulness, to set the tone for the day ahead, and to approach the challenges of life with clarity and awareness. The Buddha understood the importance of these early moments, recognizing that the way we begin our day shapes how we navigate the rest of it. In the Dhammapada, he says, "What we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow." This is a reminder that each moment, especially the first moments of our waking life, is an opportunity to consciously choose how we wish to experience the day. Mindfulness and the art of waking up. From a Buddhist perspective, waking up is not just about physically rising from sleep. It is about becoming aware of the present moment. The Buddha's teachings emphasize mindfulness, being fully present in each moment, free from distraction, and free from the constant stream of thoughts and judgments that typically dominate our minds. This is especially true in the moments after waking. Imagine the usual rush of waking up, the alarm ringing, the immediate scramble to get out of bed, check the phone, plan the day. How often do we take a moment to just breathe? To simply be aware of the transition from sleep to wakefulness without the mental noise of the world pressing in. In Buddhist practice, this rush is precisely what we are encouraged to avoid. Instead of diving straight into the tasks ahead, the Buddha teaches us to use the early moments of the day as an opportunity to center ourselves. Personal insight and example. Picture yourself waking up in the morning. The sunlight filters through the window, and the world outside is still. Instead of jumping out of bed immediately, take a moment to pause. Notice the sensation of the sheets against your skin, the softness of the pillow, the quietness of the room. Focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, then exhale slowly. Let the rhythm of your breath bring you into the present moment. This is the practice of mindful awakening. The Buddha often rose early, before the rest of the world stirred, and he would meditate, preparing his mind and heart for the day ahead. He understood that the first moments after waking set the tone for everything that followed. By taking a few moments to ground yourself in the present, you can prepare your mind for whatever challenges may come. This simple act of slowing down, of noticing the sensations of the body, of breathing deeply and consciously, can transform the entire day. A story from the Buddha's life. The power of early morning meditation. To better understand the significance of mindful awakening, consider the story of Ananda, one of the Buddha's most devoted disciples. Ananda, despite his deep spiritual commitment, once struggled with maintaining consistent mindfulness. Early in his monastic life, he would often find his thoughts wandering, especially after waking up, when the mind is most susceptible to distraction. One morning, Ananda woke up feeling especially restless. His mind was filled with worry and impatience, and he could not shake off the feeling of frustration. He approached the Buddha for guidance, asking, "Master, I am troubled by the restless nature of my mind, especially when I wake up. How can I find peace at the start of the day?" The Buddha, always compassionate and insightful, responded with great care, "Ananda, your restlessness arises because you have not yet trained your mind to be still in the early moments of your day. The first moments after you wake are precious. They are the foundation for the rest of the day. Just as a sailor adjusts their sail before setting out on a journey, so too must you set the course of your day in the early hours. The Buddha's advice was simple but profound: mindful awakening. He encouraged Ananda to wake up with mindfulness, to take a moment to reflect on the impermanence of life, and to set an intention for the day. The Buddha often meditated in the early hours, using this time not just for physical rest, but to center himself, align his thoughts with his purpose, and prepare for the challenges ahead. In the days that followed, Ananda took the Buddha's advice to heart. Each morning, he practiced mindful awakening. He would sit quietly, breathe deeply, and allow his mind to settle before he engaged with the world. Over time, Ananda found that his days became more peaceful, his mind clearer, and his actions more in line with his spiritual practice. This story illustrates the power of the early morning moments. The way we wake up and the attitude we carry into the day profoundly influence how we experience the world. By setting our intentions early through mindfulness, reflection, and peace, we can navigate life's challenges with clarity and grace. The symbolism of the sail. Setting the course for the day. The Buddha used the analogy of a sailor setting their sail before embarking on a journey. Just as the direction of the sail determines the course of the ship, the way we begin our day determines how we navigate it. If we rush into our tasks without preparation, we may find ourselves swept away by the winds of distraction, frustration, or stress. However, if we take the time to set our intention and center ourselves, we can steer our day with purpose and mindfulness. Imagine a ship without a captain or a sail aimlessly drifting, buffeted by the winds, without direction. Similarly, when we begin our day without mindfulness, we may find ourselves pulled in various directions, reacting rather than acting consciously. By setting our sail each morning through mindful awakening, we can ensure that we move through the day with purpose and intentionality. How to practice mindful awakening? The beauty of mindful awakening is that it doesn't require much time. It's a simple practice that can be done in a few moments, but can have a profound impact on your entire day. Here are some steps to incorporate mindful awakening into your morning routine. 1. Pause and breathe. After waking up, don't rush to check your phone or jump out of bed. Take a moment to pause. Notice the feeling of the bed beneath you, the sensation of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Breathe deeply and mindfully, letting each inhale bring a sense of calm, and each exhale release any tension. To observe your thoughts and feelings, pay attention to what's arising in your mind. Are there any worries, desires, or distractions? Acknowledge them without judgment, and gently return your attention to the breath. Just as the Buddha taught Ananda, observe your thoughts with compassion and non-attachment. 3. Set an intention for the day. As you breathe, reflect on your intention for the day. What quality would you like to bring into your interactions? Kindness, patience, clarity, or joy? Setting an intention helps align your actions with your higher purpose. This intention will serve as your guiding principle throughout the day. 4. Cultivate gratitude before leaving your bed. Take a moment to express gratitude for the opportunity to begin another day. The simple act of gratitude can shift your mindset and help you approach the day with a sense of appreciation and openness. 5. Move gently as you rise, do so with mindfulness. Whether it's stretching, walking, or simply standing, move slowly and mindfully. Pay attention to the sensations in your body. This gentle movement sets a peaceful tone for the rest of your day. The science of mindfulness and its impact on your day. While the Buddha's teachings on mindfulness are centuries old, modern science has begun to uncover the profound impact that mindful practices can have on our physical and mental well-being. Research shows that mindfulness helps reduce stress, improve focus, and increase emotional resilience. By practicing mindfulness upon waking, we prime our brains for a more peaceful and productive day. When we wake up with intention and mindfulness, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the rest and digest state. This helps reduce cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and prepares the body for a calm and focused day. On the other hand, rushing or waking up in a state of anxiety can trigger the sympathetic nervous system, increasing stress and making it harder to focus and remain calm throughout the day. Call to action: start your day with intention. As you embark on your daily journey, take a moment today to begin with mindfulness. Set the tone for your day by waking up with intention. Breathe deeply, center yourself, and set your course with clarity. The way you wake up can be the foundation for a day filled with purpose, calm, and clarity. As the Buddha reminds us, every moment is an opportunity to cultivate mindfulness. Don't let the precious moments of your morning slip by unnoticed. Use them to create the life you want to live. If this teaching resonates with you, consider incorporating mindful awakening into your daily routine. See how it transforms your day and helps you move through the world with a sense of peace and direction. Start today. Take a deep breath, set your intention, and wake up to the beauty of the present moment. Conclusion: the wisdom of sleep and wakefulness. Sleep, dreams, and waking up, these are much more than simple biological functions. In our fast-paced world, we often view sleep as nothing more than a necessary pause, an opportunity to disconnect from the demands of life. However, when we pause to reflect through the lens of Buddhist teachings, we begin to see that sleep, dreams, and wakefulness are deeply intertwined with our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The way we approach these natural states holds the potential to transform not just our rest, but our entire approach to life. From a Buddhist perspective, sleep is not simply a time to escape from the world. It is an integral part of the path toward mindfulness and inner peace. The Buddha's teachings remind us that sleep is a time for mental restoration and reflection. It is during sleep that we have the chance to integrate the experiences of the day, process unresolved emotions, and heal on a deeper level. But this restoration doesn't occur automatically. It requires a mindful approach. We must enter sleep with an attitude of release and surrender, letting go of the burdens we carry. and allowing our minds and bodies to rest in balance. The same applies to our dreams. Far from being random or meaningless, dreams are seen in Buddhism as reflections of the mind's subconscious workings. They are like windows into the heart of our emotional and mental states. When we view our dreams through the Buddhist lens of mindfulness, we understand that they hold insights into our fears, hopes, and unresolved issues, rather than simply dismissing them as meaningless. We are encouraged to approach them with curiosity, using them as tools for self-reflection and spiritual growth. And when we wake up, how do we approach this new beginning? The Buddha emphasized the importance of the first moments of the day. Just as we would set our sail before embarking on a journey, we are encouraged to set our intentions for the day as we wake. The way we rise, whether we do so with mindfulness or with haste, can shape the course of the entire day. By waking up with intention, by taking a moment to be mindful of our breath, our body, and our thoughts, we can set ourselves on a path of greater peace, clarity, and purpose. So, the question becomes, how do you approach your sleep and wakefulness? Do you view sleep simply as a time to rest? Or do you see it as an opportunity to refresh your mind and body? How do you begin your day? Are you waking up with intention? Or do you rush into the world without a second thought? Here is where the true power of mindfulness comes into play. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, try to visualize yourself letting go of the stresses of the day. Imagine releasing all the worries, the to-do lists, and the thoughts that weigh you down. Allow your mind to rest, gently and naturally, free from the burdens of the day. As you lie down, take a few moments to center yourself, to breathe deeply, and to be present in the moment. Recognize that this time is not just about sleep, it is an opportunity for restoration, for healing, and for spiritual growth. And when you wake up tomorrow, do so with intention. Take a moment before you get out of bed to breathe, to reflect, and to set your intentions for the day. Whether you choose to practice a few minutes of mindfulness, engage in a simple affirmation, or simply pause to appreciate the new day, these moments of intention can set the tone for everything that follows. It is not about perfection, it is about cultivating a mindful approach to life. One that allows us to be fully present in each moment, whether awake or asleep. I encourage you to share your thoughts with us in the comments below. How does mindfulness change your experience of sleep and waking life? Have you noticed a shift in your own approach to rest and wakefulness? Your insights and reflections can inspire others to explore this path of mindfulness, helping us all move closer to a life of peace and balance. If this video has inspired you to approach sleep, dreams, and wakefulness with greater mindfulness, consider subscribing to Buddhist Stories for more teachings on living a balanced, peaceful life. Our journey together doesn't end here, it is only just beginning. Remember, each new day is a fresh opportunity to set your course, to begin again, and to cultivate the inner peace and clarity that the Buddha taught us to seek. And don't forget to like and share this video with anyone who might benefit from a deeper understanding of how to live with mindfulness, both in sleep and in waking life. Your support helps spread these teachings far and wide, allowing others to discover the wisdom that can transform their lives. In our next video, we'll explore the deeper meaning of dreams from a Buddhist perspective. Are they truly random? Or do they carry profound messages for us to uncover? Stay tuned for more insights. And let's continue on this path of wisdom and awakening together.